everyone, my name's Amanda and I'm the Fun Size Reader, and today is my September wrap up, and I can't believe how much I read. I know I set pretty lofty goals for myself at the beginning of September and I did not complete all of them, but I was actually shocked with how much I read. 9 books. Like, that is my biggest month, I think, in a while. We're gonna go through all of them. I haven't posted reviews on some of them yet. If you're watching this, you know, close to when I posted this video, but some of them that I have not posted yet are coming soon. They're all recorded, so they're all ready to go. I just haven't scheduled them yet. Oh, and for those of you who were wondering or keeping tabs on my injury, it is doing a little bit better. It looks really small, but it's very deep. So it was very hard to like move my hand, but I struggled putting on my makeup today, and putting on eyelashes was a bitch, but I did it, and here we are talking about September books. So the first book I read was at the very, very beginning. I literally finished it the first day of September, and that was Ledge by Stacey McEwan. And this was a brand new fantasy romance, adult fantasy romance, and probably one of the most unique books I've read in a long time. I loved that Stacey completely gave us new like type of people, type of creatures, characters, the Glacians. I really enjoyed that. There were cliffhanger endings, and I'm excited for the next book. I'm not sure when the next one's coming out. I think probably a year. But I also think that this one is a great one because it's got like a very Frozen feel to it. So like perfect for the upcoming fall if you haven't checked this one out already. Like fall, winter vibes, like once it starts snowing, like it's about the ledge on a cliff in the ice, like, but there's more to the story. So watch my review because there's like a survival story, there's trigger warnings, there's stuff that happens in this adult book. It's not fluffy by any means. So, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it. The next one I read was Love on the Brain by Hazelwood, and this is the second in her like STEM, women in STEM romance series, and I did really like this book. I read it so fast. It was perfect for like a long car ride. If you can read in the car, I can read in the car, so like not a big deal. Plane ride, something that you just want to finish a book in one setting. Like, this was the perfect type of book. I loved the characters. I thought that enemies to lovers was super cute. However, I did talk about this in my review. I did feel like it was really repetitive in some ways. And oh, funny story. So, well, not really funny, but I did see that she just got signed or just announced that she's releasing a YA rom-com or romance. I don't know if that's the next book that she has coming, but I did just see that. So I'll have to find out more information about that. And if it's coming out next year, like, I'm mentally filing it away on my books for 2023 video that I'll do at the end of the year. But this was really good. I really liked it. I just don't want all of her books to start seeming the same. The next one was The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this was probably my most anticipated of the year. And I think I hyped it up too much in my head. Yeah, I thought it was gonna have an unpopular opinion. Like, I thought everybody else was going to be super gung-ho about it, and I was gonna be not. But I've gotten quite a few comments from you guys saying that you were not as gung-ho as you thought you were going to be either. It made me feel better that I wasn't alone, but I still feel really bad because I did love the whole rest of the series. I don't like when I don't like the last book. It was really hard not to hype up the whole series and like have great expectations of the last book after you loved everything else. Still highly, highly, highly recommend this series. Even though the last book was a disappointment for me, it wasn't for a lot of people. So I really, really recommend that people read The Inheritance Games and obviously the next two. So then I kind of broke things up with a nice little, I say nice, not really nice, but a nice little KU romance. I read Royally Not Ready by Meghan Quinn. And this was my first Meghan Quinn book. I had no idea how spicy Meghan's books were, and they were spicy. I was talking to one of my friends about them later, like after I finished the book, and she was like, oh yeah, Meghan writes spicy books. I was like, I had no idea this was my first book from her. And this was a combination of The Princess Diaries and 50 Shades. Like that's the perfect description for this book. So if you like either or both of those things, those books, those movies, whatever, and you're an adult over 18, check out Royally Not Ready by Meghan Quinn. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. I did really like the characters. I just wish there was a little bit more setting, like more movement. Overall, like really great book. And I'll definitely be reading more of Meghan Quinn's books. I found out that she has a baseball series, and I've been looking for one. So I was like, yeah, maybe for the World Series, but we're not there yet. The next book I read was Free Fall by E.M. Moore. I'm not going to take a lot of time talking about this book. I did not like this book. I will not recommend this book. Obviously, read it if you want to read it, but I will not be recommending this. I do not like books where there is explicit content with underage children. That was this. So, moving on. The next book that I read was Defend the Dawn by Brigid, Kemmerer. We read this for book club for September, so I'm not really going to go into depth on what I think about Defend the Dawn because book club is next week, and it got pushed to October 4th because of the release date of the book getting pushed. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to tell you what I thought. I'm not going to tell you anything besides I read it. So we'll see you on October 4th to talk about it. The next book that I read was Confess by Colleen Hoover. This was one of the backlist books. Well, this was the backlist book that you guys voted for me to read off of my shelves because I'm trying to read off of my shelves this year. Thank you for voting for Confess. I told you I would read a Colleen Hoover book if it's what you guys picked, and of course, it's what you guys picked. This was my least favorite Colleen book. I talked about it a lot, why, in my review, but like SparkNotes version, I think it was very overly dramatic to be dramatic. There was a lot of twists that I thought were just a little over the top, and I don't like the cheating trope. I don't like cheating trope in books, even if you think that they're supposed to be together. Like it still icks me out. Least favorite Colleen. I'm not going to make another Colleen ranking video. I already have one, but this would be at the bottom, sadly. And I say that sadly because I know so many of you guys loved it, but it wasn't for me. Another one that you voted on my backlist reads, I actually got to 2 this month, woohoo, yay, was The Player Next Door. And the reason why I picked this one, even though it was tied with another one, I could have done either or, but I picked this one because it was just put on Kindle Unlimited and I wanted to read in the dark, and I was like, I'll read that one because I can read it in the dark. But The Player Next Door by K.A. Tucker, I enjoyed. I thought it was a great K.A. Tucker romance. It was spicy and it had a lot of like fun scenes. It was just an enjoyable book. I read this so fast, literally less than 24 hours. I would recommend it, especially if you love like the single dad trope, the firefighter trope, the like close proximity trope because they're neighbors, second chance romance. I mean, there's like so much in this book. So check it out. It is on KU, and as always, like I put the links down below. The last one that I read was Prince of Sins and Shadows by Emily Blackwood, and this is the second book in her Fae of Raywith series, and it came out, I think I started it on release day. It like happened to line up that I finished what I was reading and it came out. So I was like, I'm just gonna queue this up and read it because I had already read book 1. And while I still remembered what happened in book 1, like I wanted to read it. I did just record the video review for that, so I'm not gonna like super spoil it, but I did really like it. I think I liked it better than the first one. And for like quick, just enjoyable fantasy that you don't have to like delve too deep into, but you also just like, I definitely think it's good. It is more YA than it is adult, so just know that going into it. You're not gonna get super spicy scenes, at least not right now. She's kind of alluded that may be coming, but it's steamy. There's tension, it's slow burn, and so like I just like those kinds of things in books, so I would recommend this. The other thing that is going to get honorable mention because I have not finished it yet, but it's basically like having finished an entire book, is I started Zodiac Academy 7. I don't even remember. Heartless Sky? I think Heartless Sky is the title. I started it. I'm 44% done. I am not finished with it yet, but I'm working on it. So like it's just gonna flow into next month. But it's basically like having read an entire book because that book is so damn long. Honorable mention goes to Zodiac Academy 7, but I have not posted a review yet because I have not finished it yet. I am working on finishing it though. I want to post a review and a recap for you guys because Zodiac 8 is coming in December and they just released the freaking cover and it's sorrow and starlight and I feel like I'm gonna die. Like everybody says 7 breaks your heart more so than any of the other ones, and now they released book 8 that has sorrow in it and I'm just gonna lose my mind. Like the Twisted Sisters are killing me, but I love them for it. I love them so much for it. Anyways, that's what I read in September. I read a lot. I had a lot of good books that I read. Did I give any 5 stars? I don't know. I don't know if I had any 5 stars I've been stingy with 5 stars this year, you guys. My end of year stats are gonna be pretty interesting to look back at. Okay, anyways, I will put links for the physical copies of all of the books down in the description below. Leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite book of September was, and maybe I'll add it to my TBR. Thanks for chatting with me today. Don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.